Hey there, welcome to Smart Art History. I'm Philip, your guide through the wonderful world of art history. And this week, we'll be talking about ancient Egypt, mummies, and sarcophagus art. Let's get started. Okay, before we start, I'd like to point out again, before you light up the comments ablaze with how I can't pronounce anything, I am not Egyptian. What's that? Oh, I am Egyptian. Oh boy. Okay, let's try this anyway. Mummies have struck a huge chord in pop culture around the world, shrouded in mystery, covered in jewels. They have lit the public imagination on fire. Stories of mummies can be found in books and movies further than the eye can see. And listing all of them out would be fairly pointless. So I'll just list out my favorites. One of the earliest examples of mummies in pop culture is in the book The Mummy, or A Tale of the 22nd Century, an 1827 novel written by Jane C. Loudon. However, beyond all the wonders and mystery behind these well-preserved slices of ancient history, there were once living, breathing people. So, what exactly is a mummy? A mummy is a deceased human or animal whose skin and organs have been preserved by either intentional or accidental exposure to chemicals, extreme cold, very low humidity, or lack of air, so that the recovered body does not decay further if kept in cool and dry conditions. Wait, animal? Are we sure about that? Over 1 million animal mummies have been found in Egypt, many of which were cats. Thank you, ancient Egyptians, for giving us our extreme admiration of cats. One would have to wonder if they would have actually built the pyramids had they had the magic of YouTube cat videos. So before we dive into what we know about mummies, let's quickly see why we know as much as we do. Let's look into a brief history of Muggle studies. What's that? Mummy studies, not Muggle studies? Well, that's disappointing. While interest in the study of mummies dates as far back as 305 BCE, most structured science's study began in the early 20th century. The first modern scientific examination of mummies began in 1901, conducted by a professor at the English Language Government School of Medicine in Cairo, Egypt. The first x-ray of a mummy came in 1903 when Professor Gretton Elliott Smith and Howard Carter used the only x-ray machine in Cairo at the time to examine the mummified body of Thutmose? One second.
Thutmose.
Thutmose IV. British chemist Alfred Lucas applied chemical analysis to the Egyptian mummies during the same period, which returned many results about the type of substances used in embalming. Lucas also made significant contributions to the analysis of Tutankhamun in 1922. In more recent years, CT scanning has become an invaluable tool to the study of mummification and allowed researchers to digitally unwrap the mummies without risking damage to the body. The level of detail in such scans is so intricate that small linens used in tiny areas such as nostrils can be digitally reconstructed in 3D. Such modeling has been utilized to perform digital autopsies on mummies to determine the cause of death and the lifestyle, such as in the case of Tutankhamun. Pause. A side note to King Tut. King Tut. When I was 9 years old, All I really did was go to school, a concept that you didn't have, play video games, another thing you didn't have, and play in the sandbox. That you had. You had a much bigger sandbox than I did. You had that. If I'd never gone to school or played video games, could I have ruled over one of the greatest empirical dynasties of my time? I mean, you were only 9 when you took the throne. Sure, you had many advisors doing all the heavy lifting for you, but you were still the youngest ever recorded pharaoh in history. Though, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't complain, as you were dead by the age of 18 and I'm already 26 and still have a long way to go. I mean, I'm gonna live to be 200 and you only managed to get to 18. Also, you had to marry your sister, so I guess really I don't envy you all that much. But hey, at least you got a pretty awesome sarcophagus. Which brings me to my next point. Sarcophaguses. Sarcophagi? Sarcophagi! I bet you were wondering when we'd get to the art portion of this art history lesson. A sarcophagus, or sarcophagi for plural, is a box-like funeral receptacle for a corpse typically covered in stone and displayed above ground. That basically means it's a box where you put dead things. In ancient Egypt, a sarcophagus formed the outer layer of the protection of the royal mummy, with several layers of coffins nested within, sort of like Russian nesting dolls, the few thousand years before there was a Russia. It was often carved out of alabaster. All were usually decorated with painted or carved representations of the deceased. The oldest known example of sarcophagi are from Egypt. They're box-shaped with separated lids, which sometimes have sculptures and effigies of the corpse. The sarcophagus of Tutankhamun, which was rediscovered in 1922, is of red granite and ornamented with reliefs of spirits with outspread wings. Many Egyptian coffins were made of wood. Wood was an expensive material in Egypt, a dry desert land. Although some trees, such as palm and almond, grew along the banks of the Nile, these both were slim trunks and produced soft wood, which made them unsuitable for making coffins. Hardwood had to be imported from countries such as Lebanon. The wooden coffin was therefore a sign of statue. He or she, though probably he, yet occasionally she, would receive offerings and benefits from the life-giving rays of the sun through the magical painted eyes. Beneath each eye is a sign meaning wholeness and healing. Each coffin would be marked with a different symbol and picture representing different things. So that's our look at ancient Egyptian art and how it relates to mummification. Check back next time when we break down other great takeaways from ancient Egypt. Thank you for watching Smart Art History. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our channel for more Smart Art fun. You should also head over to our Smart Art Projects playlist to see Brenda teach you how to make a wonderful Egyptian mosaic design. It is really quite lovely. I mean, there's a little scarab. Yeah, got the Eye of Horus. It's beautiful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them for us in the comments below. We'll make sure to answer them for you. Also, while you're down there, make sure you leave us suggestions for videos you'd like to see coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you here soon.